Now let's go to the structure of this unit in particular. How will it be set out, and what will it attempt to deal with? What we're going to start out with is in week 2. Week 1 is an introductory week. Week 2, we'll start off, we'll develop what's called the demand-supply model, which is a model applicable to a competitive market environment. Then we'll have a little extension on that, an aside, so to speak, on elasticities of demand and supply. So this is really just an extension of that basic model, some detail about it. After that, we have our next substantive topic, which is welfare optimization. And what we try and show is that the demand-supply model of a competitive market environment can result in welfare optimization or welfare maximization. This doesn't mean welfare in the sense of social security benefits. It means economic well-being, so to speak. After that, we'll actually do some, if you like, background on this model of demand and supply. So we'll look at what's going on behind the scenes, so to speak. So first, we'll look at the theory of demand, which explains the demand part of the demand-supply model. And then we'll look at the theory of supply in the short run, which lies behind the supply part of the demand-supply model. And part 2 of that is the theory of supply with respect to the long run. Okay, that's the theoretical background to the model. After that, we'll go on to interrogate the claim that we can have welfare optimization. What we'll look at is situations where the demand-supply model breaks down, or more appropriately, doesn't really apply, because there are aspects of the real world which don't conform to this simple demand-supply model. So after doing the background, we'll then go on to look at market power in situations where there's only one firm in the market, and market power in which there are many firms in the market. Then we'll go on to look at situations where we have markets in which firms have market power, but there are only a few firms present in the market. Then we'll look at something called market failure, and in particular we'll look at the market failure associated with externalities, and then the market failure associated with public goods. These topics are clustered together because what each of them shows is that welfare optimization may not obtain because real-world markets aren't necessarily perfect. They might be imperfect in various ways. They have defects in them. And because of that, it may be necessary for governments to intervene in order to regulate or manipulate or even abolish the markets in which there is market power or market failure. So at this point you have the introduction of policy concerns. And finally, we'll look at the topic of the labour market, both a perfect labour market, a theoretical perfect labour market, and an imperfect labour market. And we'll see how the labour market works and what impact that could have on the distribution of income in the society. That is the structure of this unit.